I have a question.
I've got the answer.
I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture.
I'm Michael Hamflett from WhatCulture.
And we're here to answer your burning wrestling questions. Let's dive straight into it, Hamflett, with a question here from Michael Morris, who says, do you think Cody could turn heel at WrestleMania, beat The Rock, and then Roman at SummerSlam, kind of like Punk did, as all the attention is on Roman and Rock, and not him as the champion?
Great first name, Michael, and great pitch. I think that the Cody heel turn is going to happen sooner than we think. Maybe not quite as soon as WrestleMania 41, but not an impossibility, and certainly not the type of outlandish, out there pitch that it might have been when, say, John Cena was last on top, or to be fair, when Roman Reigns was last on top, and it just felt like a heel turn was nowhere in sight. Roman Reigns, even in the latter-day Vince McMahon pre-Triple H era WWE, was untenable as a babyface, and whilst it felt for the longest time like they were going to do a John Cena with him and just push until people didn't so much accept as tolerate him as a top babyface, they actually didn't. They flipped. They put Roman Reigns up there as a heel, and it changed everything, really. And it kind of feels like they'll do that with Cody too. I think the John Cena way of doing things was the model for a period of time, but was proven pointless and unworkable by the success of the Roman Reigns heel turn, and I just feel like with what Cody would want to contribute to the bigger picture and to his own star aura and all that sort of stuff, he himself would be able to see when it's time to start the shift to heel from babyface. I don't know if 41 is it. I am both in love with Cody Rhodes, the babyface character, and kind of in awe with how he remains as popular as he did, basically being told to put his whole run on pause for a year between 39 and 40. So I don't think now is the time, nor do I think April 2025 is the time, but I do think the time will come.
Yeah, I think Punk may well turn heel before Cody, but I'm intrigued to see what that scenario looks the other way around. I like the idea of Cody turning heel to regain the title that he loses to The Rock at WrestleMania 41, please.
It's happening, that, isn't it?
Before The Rock says, well, I've won it, but I'm off to Hollywood again. See you later.
It feels like an inevitability, but one of them ones that you kind of do want to see occur.
But I'm desperate to see Cody's Homelander run, basically.
Yeah.
And because, it's different from the Cena times, because at the Cena times you were like, well, no one else can be a babyface like John Cena can be, whereas now you've got a multitude of people who you could run as babyfaces.
Yeah.
I mean, even people like Trick Williams coming up to the main roster could be as over as Cody potentially is, if booked correctly. But, I mean, maybe not to Cody's level, but be a very successful baby to face nonetheless. And you've got a whole host of people. I mean, Chad Gable on top as a babyface, challenging for the world title. Yes, please. Eventually.
Cody Rhodes likes the phrase the North Star as a way to describe the WWE title. I think he himself is the North Star. So think of all the allies and enemies he's made as a babyface, and then flip all of that as a heel. And it just feels like you can redo things and start them all over
again. Heel Cody
again.
versus babyface Roman.
Yeah.
What the hell does that look like?
Exactly. Like there's so much potential, and I hope that is one day realised, because it felt like it was untapped in AEW as well.
Yeah.
Like never quite really sort of tapped that vein, so I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more.
And they can be like, remember when me and my brother beat the Shield? What about that, have you?
I remember. I saw it once at a house show. It was the only good thing. It was 2013. We've got a question from Brad Daniel at BreezyMac3. Thank you very much, Brad, for your question. Brad asks, what female star is getting called up from NXT next now that Julia and Stephanie Vaquer have landed on TV?
Who picked this question, huh?
I don't know why surely these were selected at random. You told me that there was a random question generator that you won't let me look at in the office and said, turn around, and then you wouldn't let me turn back until the questions had been randomly generated.
Yeah. Well, it's lucky that I'm talking about the best wrestling show of the week, NXT. It's a shame Michael Sidgwick's not here to give his thoughts on Roxanne Perez moving up to the main roster.
Yeah.
But genuinely, aside from her, because we all assume she's going up very, very soon, I was thinking about who else on the female roster, because it is stacked. It's being added to more and more. Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, like you say, coming in. So people are going to have to move on. And I'm conflicted about who I want to see go up, because I want to see them do as well as the likes of Tiffany Stratton have when they jump up to the main roster. Roxanne Perez is going to be brilliant up there, in my opinion. Elsewhere, is it too soon to say Kalani Jordan? She's been brilliant as Women's North American Champion.
It's both, right? Like, Kalani Jordan does feel like she's having a breakout year.
Yeah.
But then sometimes the call-up comes just that little bit too soon.
Yeah.
And you flushed away the breakout potential by trying to rush them to the
They haven't done anything
star.
with Kiana James. I know she's injured now, but we haven't done anything with Kiana James yet.
A great example. Somebody else also felt kind of tippy top. Do you know what? I want them to S or get off the P with both JC Jane and Fallon Henley.
Fallon Henley, yes.
Which is like a cowboy string guitar. They're kind of the It's weird. They're the veteran presences of the NXT locker room, and their aces kicked every week on the show. So they're
carrying people, aren't they, to matches sometimes.
The booking is telling you one thing but showing you something else. I think it's time to really, really see what we've got here. Obviously, Mandy Rose was somebody coming down when she formed Toxic Attraction, but then between Gigi Dolin's injuries and JC Jane's kind of stasis role within NXT, what have we got with those two in particular, those two names? Like, we're 3 years into their NXT runs at this point? It's a long time.
Or if we're going on the new thing of like, yeah, these people are like, weren't alive when the Attitude Era was happening, or even Ruthless Aggression, some of them, and now we're going to stack the main roster with your Tiffany Strattons, your Bron Breakers, your Javon Evans, soon enough, one would assume. Chuck Thea Hale up there. She's only just turned 21. She's awesome.
Yes. If Chase U has to be dismantled, as it appears to be happening at the moment,
You ridge.
At least it be for those to graduate NXT.
Next question today comes from someone I've not heard from before, but I thought I'd give him an opportunity to ask a question to you. It's from Matt Rains.
Love the guy.
Who says, the #1 best friend of Hamflett's.
Yeah.
What are your predictions for next year's All-In main event in Texas? Cheers, brothers. Cheers, Matt.
It's going to be weird covering All In from a different stadium, isn't it? And as much as we love Dallas,
Better do Forbidden Door at Wembley Arena.
We love Dallas, Texas. We've been to Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
So nothing but fond memories of there. Yeah, the main event scene in AEW, I think, is going to, I don't want to say undergo like a massive transformation, but I think it's going to be, I don't know, like righting a few wrongs in 2025. I think 2024, the story of its main event will be the ascension and solidification of Swerve Strickland as an AEW top guy.
Yes.
I think 2025 will be about the kind of long, like the intentionally long road that Will Ospreay has had to travel to be in the main event, because he could have come in and gone straight there, and they've kind of like in storyline delayed it, but he's always felt like the top guy. I also think Hangman Page is headed
just about to,
back to the top
Googling.
of the card. But in light of when we are recording this, I'm just going to shoot for the moon here.
Go on.
I'm going to go with Jon Moxley losing the AEW World Heavyweight title to Darby Allin. And this comes in the shadow of him literally hours after we recorded this video, before we recorded this video, stealing that opportunity from him. It will be just shy of 12 months. It will be AEW's biggest show of the year next year. They have, in 2024, kind of squared away that regardless of the fact it's in Wembley or in England, All In was the big ticket destination for AEW this year. It's going to be the case in 2025, and I believe that is currently AEW's biggest match. Darby Allin winning the belt, one of the originals, one of the pillars that could actually, alongside MJF, maybe actually live up to the pillar billing, getting that moment.
Yeah, that's a really good call. I like that one. And my mind immediately went to, the Hangman Page redemption arc finally being complete, because it's such a huge show. You want to do something big. Obviously, we had Danielson winning the world title this year. Yeah. MJF, Adam Cole, however you feel about that, was the biggest thing at Wembley last year, of course. And I think the amount of work they've put into this Hangman Page thing, and there's still lots of places you can still go. It's not like, well, he's dealt with Swerve and guess he's moved on and he's happy with his life now. He's going to lose to Jeff Jarrett, obviously, on Collision, unless you're watching it after that, in which case, sorry, Hangman, but don't mess with Double J.
Indeed.
But, I think that you can have a lot of things in between now and Texas where he goes through the transformation of remembering the reason why you lose all the time is because this isn't you, Adam. Yeah. You are a good person, and then you have to say, right, okay, now you've remembered who you are and dealt with everything, whether it be with Swerve or the Elite or whatever it may be. That road to the title should be the hardest, like to finally regain that title, the world title. I don't know who holds it at that time, but boy, I hope MJF's involved in Texas as well, because he's awesome. My best friend.
Just on Forbidden Door. Ideally, Tony, don't book Omega Okada for Forbidden Door, because I intend to get tickets and go and watch that show. And if there's one thing I love, it's missing out on that match. I'd like to complete the hat trick and miss the Madison Square Garden. They were going to book it, didn't happen. Wembley this year, they were going to book it, didn't happen. So why don't I complete the hat trick with a right foot, left foot header and miss it next year?
Yeah. The only way he books it for that show, by the way, is if Michael Sidgwick confirms he definitely can't go. And then, because that poor bastard's missed out on it as well.
Straight on the card. Thank you very much for that question, Matt. Always the best.
Cheers, mate.
A slam dunk question.
Happy anniversary as well.
Happy 5th anniversary to you and Ashley Rains. Hope you're having a lovely time. Ashley is going to see Teddy Swims for the anniversary, which is probably better than seeing Matt Rains.
We could get her a cameo from me, Matt. I'm right there.
We're both available on Cameo.
For a decent rate as well, actually. Don't use the app. The app, iPhone app and whatever. Apple take money for that. Don't use that. Cameo.com/Michael Hamflett, Cameo.com/Adam Wilbourn.
We're saving you money and making you good times and great memories.
Maybe have a foam finger in there. Maybe I'll give you a finger. Who knows? Pay, there's a tip option for a reason. Carry on. What have you got?
Pride Brooks.
Hey.
I remember when I had Pride. Pride Brooks at Sir Coachington says, "Hey friends, do you think..." he's digging into a storyline here that we're very interested in. "Do you think we are actually going to see the New Day split up officially, or do you think even if we get a Woods versus Kofi match, they eventually hug it out? What are we doing?
I feel sick about the 10th anniversary of the New Day happening on December 1st, the early soon. December, end of November. Raw is when that date's going to fall for the celebration. Really worried, especially if they say, hey, Big E's going to be there to celebrate with the gang.
Yeah.
I love this Xavier Woods story. Thank you to Karrion Kross for successfully kidnapping him. It's just been going brilliantly on television. I hope they don't do it in a weird way, despite the fact how much I love this, because it's one of those staples that you don't want to lose in wrestling. I'm just like, the New Day, no, they can see past that. But I like the teasers that they're doing right now, and I like the fact that Xavier Woods is crying out for a singles title. Jey Uso's literally just won one. More on Jey in a little bit.
Yeah, see, this is it. I couldn't have really answered this question in good faith, because when you have such a close proximity to the OTJ, who's never yet been wrong, and then he just casually drops as a prediction on a Raw review that he thinks maybe those two were brought together in storyline to plant a little seed that Jey Uso and Xavier Woods are going to have a match. It's not to sort of paraphrase somebody else in wrestling that tends to know quite a few things. It's not prediction, it's a spoiler, isn't it? So
I like to call it, and this is kind of my phrase, and I was the one to say it, I call it a narrative ecosystem. That's what I like to call it.
Yeah, real garbage.
Or narrative Big Bang. Either or. Both of my phrases.
You invented them.
Shout out to Cedric.
We've got any more questions?
Yeah, let's get a serious one now from WT. If you could have Bronson Reed fight any animal, which one would you choose?
Oh, right.
WT clarifies, assuming the animal is successfully involved in the kayfabe, could sell really well and didn't actually get hurt, obviously.
I keep seeing this fat-ass screaming hippo on the internet.
Oh, yeah, I love that little guy.
What's that about? I'm seeing a lot of animals. I don't know, I'm seeing a lot of animals on X, but I wouldn't search them on the work Wi-Fi if I were you.
If I'm just searching fat little hippo, 1 second.
Fat little hippo.
Where is he? I do want a fat hippo now you've said that.
Oh, I'd love a fat hippo. What's your favourite fat hippo burger? I've got the questions, you've got the answers.
Anything. Just a meat one, because they're the ones that have got the bacon fries.
Yes. And then there's some where they put peanut.
I'm on a diet before the
peanut
holiday.
And
I can't
jam
have anything
in the burgers as well. Or there's one that they put the chorizo on.
I like when people order peanut butter jam burgers when Ewan Patterson, who works for WhatCulture, is out for us for dinner and he has a severe nut allergy.
We're not going to name who.
Moo Deng!
Moo Deng versus Bronson Reed.
Don't book it. I love that little.
Our old. Right, so it was Bronson Reed, not Bron Breakker, right?
Yes.
Because I would like to see the jacked kangaroo, our old friend the jacked kangaroo, against
the Finn Balor of kangaroos.
Yeah. Against Bronson Reed. However, he's actually got law, has he not, with Bron Breakker, because in the Jack video he tried to drown him. He drowned that dog.
Yes.
So as often when these animal questions come up,
I'll say a full guard.
I'll say the Jack Kangaroo, but if there's one thing to me scarier than Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, it's Bronson Reed versus any dog. So I want to see Bronson Reed tsunami a dog. There, I said it.
Oh, I like that.
A sleeping dog gets tsunamied.
I automatically went hippo because a bit like Bronson Reed, you're like, they seem fine. Jesus Christ!
Killing machines.
Yeah.
Killing machines. Yeah.
But what animal do I want to see get tsunamied? That's a good question, because Bronson Reed's going over, obviously.
Yeah, he's winning with a tsunami. Yeah.
A giraffe. I'd like to see that neck.
I was going to say an upright one, or the tsunami. Like the ones how he's been doing the tsunamis to the upright Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Giraffe's just standing there, giraffing, and then bang, tsunami, kind of out of shot. David Attenborough's filmed it in such a way where you get the surprise. Can we have Attenborough commentating over it?
Oh, please. Come on, WWE, make it happen.
The monster Bronson Reed there with a tsunami. He's been known to take out giraffes, jacked kangaroos, and drywall.
Won't someone think of his family?
Good question. Speaking of good questions, we've got another one from Mark Goddard at MSGoddard10 on X. And Mark asks, how are these questions coming around to all these things you don't know anything about? Do you think War Games ends up as Roman the Usos and Jacob Fatu versus Solo the Brothers Destiny and Hikuleo?
I'll stand back. The OTJ is about to drop some knowledge on you. I have had a brilliant idea for this, which is why I chose Michael Hamflett to ask me this question. Right, so I think War Games should be a 5-on-5 match. Okay. Right, I do like the fact that... Did he suggest Fatu's on the babyface side?
Roman the Usos and Jacob Fatu. Yeah.
I like that as an idea, but I think long term that's not going to happen for the time being. I mean, he's going to be a hugely over babyface when he does turn, just killing everybody.
He might have Roman at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think they're doing Roman Jacob at WrestleMania, so he can't really turn because Roman's one of the biggest babyfaces in wrestling right now. So, heel side, simple, easy, really easy stuff here. God, Tama and Tonga, obviously. That's confused me. Yeah. Solo Sikoa, Hikuleo, and Jacob Fatu. Babyface side, again, quite an easy pitch this. Roman, Cody, and that's it. That's all you need, really. Or Roman, Cody, Sami, and the Usos. And the one change that I would make to this is Jimmy Uso returns to help Sami Zayn win the tag team titles. Therefore, walking into Survivor Series, you have Intercontinental Champion Jey Uso, Tag Team Champions Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso, and World Champion Cody Rhodes. But Roman got no belt. Roman Reigns is the only person on a team without a belt. Are you kidding me?
And
he said, I'm coming for that, obviously, in the cinema that they created on SmackDown the other week.
And the mini cage deal, Jimmy Uso's like, I'm ready. And then Roman says, and Roman goes in to be the second one into.
Imagine Cody and Roman in the cage. Yeah. I'll be going out next, thank you very much.
Yep. Jey Uso starts, and the Roman is like, no, I want to save him. And Cody's like, excuse me, sir, do you feel him? Like, he's his former tag team champion partner.
Sami Zayn sneaks out whilst they're arguing.
Underneath their arm. Hey-oh! We've done it. Completely yet again.
God, I cannot wait for War Games.
I hope it's that, because they have been splitting things a lot lately, and Street Chase and the LWO continue to fight, so I don't want to worry anyone.
Also goated. So
well, yeah, that's true. I'm worrying nobody, I guess.
Is it me next?
Yeah, it is you. It is you. Thank you for your question, Mark. I'll second everything Wilbourn said, because I do really love the belt pitch.
Brian Action, all action Brian Action, as I call him.
Yeah.
How would you feel about an AEW women's tag division? What teams would you like to see? Who'd be the inaugural champions? You gents are the best. Have a lovely day. Not another belt.
Yeah, thank you for your question and the nice comments, but I don't want that ever. Oh, well, not ever. I want it one day when the division sports. I don't want belts. The thing is, the division I don't mind, but you're right, the division does then require a title and a goal to work towards. And we've seen in AEW that belts aren't goals so much as they are storyline substitutes. They become a surrogate for just actually making people care about the stories. AEW's women's division is the best it's ever been in 2024. And if you look at All Out, I still maintain that Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander stole the show.
Yeah.
And that was a story that existed without the need for a title belt, and without it was motivated by hatred first and foremost, even if there might have been title belts peppered into it along the way. And indeed, both Willow and Stat will presumably get back to singles titles. I just don't feel right now the division can support it. If you were going to do anything, you turn the clock back, you never invent the TBS title, and you have one singles title and one tag title. Yeah. And wrap a division around it. But I think that's, what's the phrase? The tail wagging the dog or something like that. The belts would...
Tony would know about that.
The belts would create a reason for wrestlers to fight, but I don't think it would create a reason for stories to be told.
Yeah, I mean, that women's division, it really is Tony eat dog. It's dog eat dog, sorry, right now. But as much as I would like to see more women's wrestling on AEW television, on Dynamite specifically, come on, more than one match a week, it's become a joke that we're really tired of telling.
They're really getting there. They're really getting, it's getting so close.
Well, 2 matches, one's not a squash, less Jericho. It's quite an easy fix, to be perfectly honest. And whilst having another belt in the women's division would potentially make that more feasible. Yeah, I don't want to see it. They've literally just got rid of a belt, and I could get rid of about 5 more, to be honest, on television if you include Ring of Honor for AEW. So I wouldn't like to see it. Having said that, I did just picture Willow Nightingale and Toni Storm as a team for some reason, and now I think I want to see it.
Timeless Willows. That sounds like a band from the 80s, isn't it? The Travelling Wilburys or something like that.
Or maybe Toni Storm is still not just broken by the title loss, but really sad. She's so sad. She's crying all the time, and then the Weeping Willows.
Just invent a new gimmick in order to make the wordplay work.
Or the women's team off.
Oh, there we go.
We always pick, hang on, just grab a handful because they're going to be inevitably be like Penta or people like
Darby Allin.
So I'm trying to find a woman. Nope.
Miro.
Yeah.
Well, wrong box now, really. Roddy Strong.
Nope. Oh, this isn't going well. No.
Justin Rhodes.
Come on, there's got to be. Come on now.
Got one.
Go on.
Wait a second.
No, Big Bill.
Just in case.
No, he's in NXT right now. No, Dark Order.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is proven true to life because currently we can't find an ally for Dr. Britt Baker DMD.
Okay.
So she's
God, I really want to find
team.
Jamie Hayter, please. No, Tony Nese and his tiny knees. What's that one? Is that a woman?
I just picked up randomly.
Have a look.
It's Britt Baker and Kira Hogan.
There we go.
Teaming up to win the tag team titles.
Yeah.
The first inaugural tag team champions. There we go. Question answered, confirmed by the OTJ himself. First tag team champions are Britt Baker and Kira Hogan. How's that going to happen?
I did sort of stumble across, not Lyra Valkyrie, Taya Valkyrie and Deonna Barrazzo, me and Sid, playing a game on one of our podcasts. So it might happen, who knows?
Question from David Newport. We kind of mentioned these earlier on. Another question on these. What brand do you see the Lucha Brothers going to when they debut? SmackDown seems a logical choice to me, but it would be nice to see them against Rey Mysterio and the LWO on Raw. Now, let me just quickly answer before you get there. If I knows Triple H like I think I knows Triple H, there's a chance that at some point down the line, the Lucha Brothers might just interact with the LWO. But yeah, to David's more serious question, Raw or SmackDown or NXT, and why?
I mean, I'd like them to learn how to wrestle in NXT first, but once they've done that for a bit, I'm joking, of course, Penta obviously learned how to wrestle in WCPW. Again, you're welcome.
Wow, that was really good.
But
Bit on top of bit on top of bit.
Raw.
You've got the bits between your teeth.
I think Raw. I think I want to see him on Raw.
Okay.
On Netflix, big things. Mm-hmm. Back to 3 hours, of course.
Big Lucha.
The good thing is that both Raw and SmackDown are going to be 3 hours by the start of next year, which is preposterous.
Yeah.
Yeah, just can they not feud immediately with a Mexican team? Mm-hmm. That's my only request.
Or align with them.
Yeah, I don't care, but I think I'd like to see him on Raw.
Yeah.
Because there's more teams I can think of just straight off. Actually, no, I want them on SmackDown. To see if you can guess which team I immediately thought of would be the perfect first feud. You need a team who can immediately lose and have fun with it against people like, who's going to come out and kick our ass? A-Town Down Under would be quite good for this as well, but not them.
Do I have the answer in my head?
Yes, boy!
Yeah, Pretty Deadly and Lucha Brothers is the opening program. I want them to debut on one of the NXT specials on the C-Dub in either Chicago or St. Louis and then jump to SmackDown.
And then see Machine Guns after that.
Yes,
great. Final question from me, I believe.
Yep.
Comes from Harrison Maynard. Maynard, sorry. Connor Maynard, his brother probably, is not going to be happy about that. Interviewed him when I was at commercial radio, DJ. Lovely bloke, actually.
One of my favourite news agents when I was a kid was called Maynard's. I used to get my wrestling stickers and that chewing gum that breaks teeth.
So Harrison Maynard, thank you for your question. Apologies for butchering your surname.
Somebody with the surname Harrison that I think was related to the person that owned the Maynard's news agents. Is it you?
What rebrand / gimmick change killed a wrestler's career, and which gimmick change saved a wrestler's career?
There is for the killed, there is a sort of an old standard that you hear less of now, but I think it's always worth raising because I am indeed an old man. And it's Terry Taylor as the Red Rooster. There's two reasons why. One, because being made a human chicken is a real struggle to get back from. You can come back as terrific Terry Taylor, but there ain't much terrific about the times you've had to spend your half of your career pecking and pretending to be a big walking cat.
Yeah, you got no clucking chance, brother.
Not least because obviously of the rumours that he wrestled Mr. Perfect and one of them was going to get the perfect gimmick, and then I don't know if it was a case of one perfect, one chicken. I don't think it was as simple as that.
What a sliding doors moment that is.
But for a more contemporary one, and somebody else that was often in the red trunks and boots, I just hated it at the time because I kind of hated all of WWE, and it, even to the extent where it made me hate it, one of my all-time favourites. Lance Storm getting called boring, right? Steve Austin, who of course was the one on the stage with a pillow and duvet screaming boring at him, had said a gazillion times the best personalities are the real ones turned up to 11. Now, this was technically that for Lance Storm, a dry fellow, a sort of dry individual, but maximise that as a fun gimmick, such as him saying, I love offbeat shenanigans as much as the next person.
Yeah.
They become like the sort of like the dry witticisms of a Lance Storm. Don't just outright
Have
say...
him be the James Milner of wrestling.
Exactly, perfect, yeah? Don't just say, boring, and there's nothing you can do about it. You boring bastard. I'm asleep, you're so boring. Are you asleep because you're tired, Steve, or is it a bit of CTE? Who can say? But anyway, the worst thing about that one was it was a death within a death, right? So that you're outright saying, well, this guy's boring, and then you make the character try and push back on being boring by dancing and shagging. And it was like, well, he feels unnatural in both those roles too. So you've killed him once, and then the body just like, there's bullets everywhere. So I'm fired. Got him again. And now he's double finished. Like, it's super double finish attack on, like, he never recovered. Like, not within WWE. Had some lovely runs in Ring of Honor, had like the kind of like that great like moment with Chris Jericho at One Night Stand 2005. So it wasn't like the end for Lance Storm, and he has remained backstage in various capacities over the year. But as a full-time performer, that was nowhere near done.
No.
Like credibility-wise, he felt finished.
I'm going to do someone who, well, actually, arguably could be the answer to both of these questions. Mm-hmm. Killed his career, then resuscitated it. Then I don't know what the hell happened, but I'm hoping for the best for him going forward. Talking about Dijak.
Ah, yeah.
Making him T-bar. I mean, everyone in Retribution got murdered by that bollocks. Yeah. Again, you could argue the same for Marseille, as he's known now. So glad to see what he's doing in MXM. But yeah, I quite liked. I'd never seen his stuff in PWG, so when he was doing that mad stuff with Keith Lee in NXT, I thought, well, this is class.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know what they did with him. And then he was awesome in NXT again as Dijak. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping that wasn't necessarily killing his career, but just a temporary stasis. In terms of saving the rest of his career, do you know whose name popped into my head?
Go on.
Baron Corbin. I couldn't have given... He was the male Natalia to me. Right. I couldn't have given less of a toss about him.
Yeah.
He had like one flash when he was like, oh, I'm actually minting this King of the Ring tournament. I'm just kicking people's asses. And then they were like, right, feed Roman Reigns some dog food or some stuff. And I was like, right, I never want to watch you ever again. Then they gave him broke-ass Corbin as a gimmick. Mm-hmm. And you were like, you've got patter. Wait a second.
Yep.
Then they had the Happy Corbin stuff, which, I think they did too soon. Corbin himself has said that broadcast thing was only meant to be 2 weeks, so he's lucky to get it to go for as long as he did.
He elevated Happy Corbin as well.
Then he was awesome back in NXT. I think there's loads of stuff that man can do. I think he's really underrated. We were lucky enough to meet him, I should say this, in WrestleMania, and he couldn't have been nicer. We had a pint with him.
Yes.
He was just, when you just meet someone, you're like, oh, really feel bad for Scorn. You're like, boring Corbin or whatever.
Good egg.
There's something about that, man. Give him more of a chance. Give him more some mic time or something.
I got two. Would you like first, for career being saved, would you like the obvious one or the slightly controversial one first?
Let's go obvious.
Obvious one, because it's like recency bias, Bronson Reed. Like, it seemed as though all of his positives that we've seen over the last month and a half were being hidden under this idea that he's got to be some sort of like working big man. And that being like switched out seemingly overnight with that Seth Rollins beatdown has transformed it. It might not last, but that's kind of why I want to celebrate and toast it while we're in it, because it has just been an absolute unrelenting joy. It is a shock. I described it as like, we know that I like to enjoy a can of Mountain Dew. It's like they've like crystallized it down to its perfect form and put it in a needle and inject it into my veins every week on Raw.
It is 98% of our daily intake of wrestling in Bronson Reed.
Yeah, absolutely. 156% of my daily Bronson. More controversial one, but before the comments dive on me, or people on Twitter, I would like to sort of try and explain this a little bit away. Hangman Page's heel return against Jeff Jarrett.
Ooh.
Like, it wasn't like the career was dead. I'm not even suggesting that. But really, as a babyface, in that moment, was there many sort of roads left for Hangman Page to travel? Like the Swerve Strickland thing had happened, he lost all the big title matches. The 2023 reunion with the Elite wasn't pulling up trees, was it? For any of them?
No.
Really?
No, it's a good point.
And I just think this heel turn, which is great in and of itself, because you can absolutely have the argument that the heel turn isn't even a heel turn.
Yeah.
That one day he's going to see that he's actually just been sucked into like the darkest corner of his own soul, and the good guy has been there all along. But this is like, this rejuvenation of Hangman Page has completely sort of for me at least, no pun intended, reignited the fire.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought AEW is so full of wrestlers that you want to watch achieve and you want to see ascend. Swerve Strickland was one of them at Hangman Page's expense, that you were like, am I actually that arsed about Hangman Page getting back up to the top of the card? Now, it sort of feels inevitable. Like this turnaround for him in 2024 hasn't just been this like, like this nice thing to watch on AEW television. I think it's been a bit of a necessity for him. There will be another day for the babyface Hangman Page, but I don't mind if it takes us a bit longer to get there.
No, I agree with you on that one. Also, honourable mention, anything Chad Gable did after Shorty G was an improvement.
Like, if you talk about career savers, can we just have Chad Gable as a one for the amount of times he's taken somebody and made them better in a tag team?
Yeah.
There's about 50 of them at this point.
Final question.
Is it mine? Sorry, I thought we were done. My final question, which I like to give this long run up to, which is why I've done it this way, is from Hassie at Rochero_Hassie on X, who asks, Uso IC title belt run temporary? ?
I mean, I loved Jay winning the title on Raw. I thought it was brilliant. It's his best singles match I've ever seen, in my opinion, and our opinion, actually, I should say.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to throw to you on this one. What do you think? How long does he hold this belt for? I obviously said I want him to hold it into War Games.
Yeah.
But do I see him defending it at WrestleMania? No.
The OTJ spoiled it, and it's going to be Xavier Woods that wins the belt off him before the New Day's 10th anniversary, or maybe on that day on Raw in December. But I said before you pitched that I believe that this existed to actually bounce it back to Bron Breakker as part of the integration with the Bloodline. They appeared to be positioning Jey Uso and Sami Zayn as challengers to the tag titles, and then Sami took time off the STEMI and has now been put in against Gunther, and obviously Jey has finally won his singles title. I believe that they have elevated the importance of this Intercontinental title win and just how Jey has finally got it done, just to make it all more heartbreaking when the Bloodline take it away.
Ooh.
I think
Bron Breakker's going to feud with Punk next.
I want to watch it.
He suggested it, didn't he, when he was on NXT?
I think Roman and Cody are going to win at Bad Blood, and in a sort of act of petty revenge, the Bloodline are going to start being, right, how can we ruin their lives all over again? And even if Roman and Jay's relationship is kind of like seen missing right now, Cody and Jay's is rock solid, and in order to get to Cody, and then really they know they're getting to Roman, they're going to get to Jay, and they're going to screw him out of that title. And I think it probably goes back to Braun in the process.
And what word do you think Roman Reigns could say to confirm his teaming up with the Usos, Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn?
Do you know how I want to see that played out?
Go on.
Will you be Roman and I'll be Jey Uso?
Yeah.
In very much a mirroring of how we live our lives. And you didn't want to see what went on behind the scenes in 2022 in this office. Roman is there and Jey Uso is in the ring with him.
It's great.
And it looks like they're kind of on the same side. And then Roman's like, oh, Jay, I've got you back on side. And then I'll be Jay. He's not reaching out for anything. He's wanting Roman to put those arms in the air. Yeet! Let's go to war.
On that note, let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed. Thank you for everyone who sent us questions at WhatCulture WWE on X. You can follow him at Michael Hamflett. You can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. And for now, you can check out this video right here. We'll see you again soon.